The series The Endless Endeavor can be read from left to right. Essentially, it's the story of my grandfather coming to the United States from Mexico City. It explores the generations in between, and it ends with the birth of my daughters. So the work is stacked to symbolize the idea that everything in life is dependent on what came before it. At the bottom of the first piece, which is titled Illegal Human, you have a Tlaloc vessel, and it's resting on top of these 7 caves. And this comes from the Mexica story of the origin of humanity, that all life came from one cave, and within that cave was 7 sub-caves. And one of the things about somebody coming over illegally is you kind of lose all of that history of who came before. And I referenced back to that. When my grandfather first came to the United States, he told me that he had crossed illegally several times and had been caught and sent back. But the time that he made it, the time that he actually made it across and stayed in the United States, he had been walking along the Rio Grande, and he found an area that was shallow enough that he could swim across. So he took all of his clothes off and he wrapped them around his fist, and he walked through the water with his fist up in the air so that when he got to the other side, his clothes would be dry. It wouldn't look like he just swam across. The current of the river is so strong that it swoops his underwear off and he comes into the country butt naked. And I remember he told me that story, and I was a kid, and I remember thinking it was really funny. And after he'd passed away, I was kind of thinking on it, meditating on that. And I thought how beautiful that was. Like a baptism of sorts or something, but really like being born into this place, coming into the world with absolutely nothing. So out of that Tlaloc vessel, which would represent his ancestors, his fist emerges, right, with the clothes wrapped around it. The American flag is in front of that, and the Mexican flag is behind it, symbolizing this life that he had left behind so that he could move forward. My grandfather worked extremely hard, right? He started a tile company. Again, growing up in Mexico City, he saw Saltillo tile everywhere. When he got to the United States, he realized he wasn't seeing it anywhere. So my grandfather began to import Saltillo tile and sell it, and made a wonderful living and was able to support a family of 10. While I was making the series, I realized that my grandfather didn't work hard so that I wouldn't have to. He did it to show me how. And that whole series, there's 3 sets of them. That set at the Cheech right now is actually the only complete set left. And I'm really happy that it was able to be shown and displayed in a place like that, especially among that body of work in Soy de Tejas. I think that it really speaks to our culture, honoring our elders and ancestors and taking pride in your work and doing what you need to do to support your family. I think there's so many universal things there that translate, and I want my work to honor not only my grandparents, but your grandparents, as well as let people know that that cycle isn't over, and now it's our turn to do the best that we can to set up the next generations. That's the ultimate goal, right? As a parent, as a human being, as a member of the Chicano race.